Our homes tell our story. And the table I'm styling today is much more than a collection of dishes, placemats, candles, and greenery. It's a reflection of where I come from. On this table are daffodil plates that belong to my grandmother and are more than 60 years old, a lace tablecloth my parents bought on their first trip to Europe in 1987, and handmade crochet placemats that I created myself. That's 3 generations, 3 stories, one table. As I style this table today, I'd like to share not only the story behind these treasured pieces, but also a few simple styling ideas that you can use to create a table that is uniquely yours. Welcome to Naughty and Crafty Studio. I'm Parul, the crochet artist and stylist, helping you create happy spaces with cozy handmade decor. Before I begin styling any table, I always start by thinking about the experience I want to create. Who's coming? What are their preferences? What are we eating? And how long are we likely to sit around at this table? Because a formal dinner, a festive celebration, and a relaxed family lunch all require different approaches. I believe the purpose of hosting is not to impress our guests, but to make them feel comfortable and welcomed. For this table, I imagined a leisurely meal shared with family and close friends. The kind of gathering where details are appreciated, conversation flows easily, stories are shared, and nobody is in a hurry to leave. Once my menu and guest list are planned, my next focus is how do I want people to feel around this table? And for today's table, I wanted to create warmth and connection. The kind of table that encourages people to linger a little longer, share stories, and make new memories. And that feeling guided every choice that followed. The colors in this tablescape are inspired by nature and built around shades and colors that feel calm, warm, and welcoming. The soft ivory lace tablecloth creates a light foundation and allows the olive green crochet placemats to stand out. Against my dark wooden table, the placemats tend to disappear, but the lighter background helps them become a feature rather than getting lost. Moving on to layering, layers create texture and add visual interest to a surface. The first layer on my table is this lace tablecloth. My parents bought it on their first trip to Europe way back in 1987. And growing up in an army home, this tablecloth witnessed countless gatherings, celebrations, parties, both formal and informal, with friends that became family. A hallmark of army life. Next comes the jute runner. The lace is delicate and the jute is rustic. Layered together, they create warmth, depth, and visual interest. And then come the crochet placemats. There's something beautiful about objects made slowly and intentionally by human hands. They add character and personality that mass produced decor simply can't. For the centerpiece, I'm using a box as a riser, a pothos plant from my balcony garden, and candlelight. Given the scorching summer heat this year, it's impossible to source fresh flowers. But looking at my fresh, green, lush plant, I don't think flowers are required for a centerpiece. Everything here was already in my home. The box creates height, but because its color echoes the jute runner, it blends quietly into the background and allows the plant to remain the focal point. The pothos brings freshness, softness, and life. The candle holders used here are actually simple terracotta coolers. Most of us think of them as cups, but they also make beautiful candle holders. Good styling isn't just about buying more, it's about seeing familiar things in a new way. A quick practical tip. If your candles wobble in their holders, simply wrap a small piece of transparent plastic around the base before inserting them. It helps hold them securely in place. You can also use gravel or floral foam to anchor the candles. If you'd like to see a quick tutorial, let me know in the comments and I'll happily make a video on the same. The green from the placemats and the pothos plant brings freshness and life to the table, while the warm beige and brown tones of the jute runner, the wooden riser and the terracotta quilters add a sense of warmth and grounding. The golden thread in the handcrafted votives adds a touch of sparkle and softness, while the candlelight ties everything together. I always remind myself that a table is for people and not photographs. So while the aesthetics matter, comfort matters more. I'm building the place settings around these beautiful daffodil plates that belong to my grandmother and are more than 60 years old. My grandfather brought them for her from Mumbai. That's the story my mother tells me. These are some of my favorite pieces in the entire tablescape. Every time I use them, I'm reminded that some of the most beautiful things in our homes aren't new. They're the pieces that connect us to the people who came before us. I've kept the napkin fold simple and relaxed, held together with a knotted metallic napkin ring. The color palette remains soft and neutral so that the daffodil plates can remain the hero of the table. When too many colors compete for attention, a table can start to feel busy. And here is the finished table. A table built from memories, from handmade craftsmanship, from treasured heirlooms, and from simple objects gathered over time. I think that's what makes a home special. Not the perfection, not the trends, not the expensive purchases, but the stories we choose to keep and the memories we choose to honor. Beautiful homes aren't created by buying more. They're created by giving meaning to what we already have. And when we fill our homes with pieces that tell our story, we create spaces that truly feel and uniquely ours. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to know what is the most meaningful piece in your home and what story does it tell? Share it in the comments below. Until next time, keep creating happy spaces.